Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the October 16th annual monthly meeting of the Oak Hills Park Authority. The first item on the agenda is a call to order. So I would like to call out names, and as I call your name, if you could just mention, either raise your hand or say here. So Denise Brown.
Here.
Carrie Leeds.
Here.
Jeff Schweitzer.
Here.
Mary Verrill.
Here.
Richard Dellinger.
Here.
Jennifer McAllister.
Here.
In LaGuardia Airport, may I say. Thank you. TJ Tramboli.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum, so we are now official. Item number 3 on the agenda is the acceptance of minutes. Could I have an authority member to move the minutes, please?
Make a motion.
Richard Dellinger, motion. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Denise Brown, second. Do we have any discussion, any errors or omissions that we've seen? Here again, another good minutes meeting. I did see one addition in that we were talking about Audrey Courtesan's contributions. I don't think Audrey would like to be called a courtesan. I think her name is Cozzarin, Cozzarin. So if you could just change that from courtesan to Cozzarin. Did any other members see any other changes they would like to make, or any errors or omissions?
The only thing that they didn't put in is in the attendance. They usually put like Rich Dellinger as vice chair and that Denise Brown as treasurer. I don't know if that's very important, but they did omit that.
I think that's a good thing. We should do that. We are officers, so if we could add Denise Brown as treasurer and Rich Dellinger as vice chairman, that would be great. Thank you, Denise. Any other members, any other changes? There being none, I'd like to push the motion to accept the minutes with the one change as denoted. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes are approved. Item number 4 on the agenda, public participation. Jim, do we have anybody in the waiting room?
No.
Okay, public participation is now closed. Moving on to item 5 on the agenda, which is reports. So 3 or 4 things from the chair, if I may. It has been a pretty busy month at Oak Hills with various meetings that we've had, with various things that are going on. Denise Brown will give us an update on where we are with the tennis process, with our new, where we are with all the RFPs that we put out. I'm pleased to announce that we did get 7 replies to our RFP, and we had a meeting to review them, and Denise will report on that during her tennis report. This Tuesday, we also had the first meeting of the Oak Hills Golf Pro Search Committee. TJ Tramboli and Gary Leeds are on that committee with me. Thank you for serving on that, along with 2 members of the Men's Golf Association and 2 members of the Women's Golf Association. Jim Holiday is there as well. We had our first meeting.
Mark.
And Mark Gardner. How could I forget you, Mark? Yes, thank you, Gary. Mark Gardner there is keeping us honest and making sure we don't spend too much money. I knew I'd forgotten someone. So we had an initial meeting, and it was a good meeting. We actually did introduce ourselves, and we split up into a couple of focus groups just to say, what do we really want for our new golf pro? What type of characteristics? What type of, what are our needs and wants for the new golf pro that we'll be hiring? And we came back with some suggestions, and we will be at our next meeting putting together the job description and also the job specifications. Also, we'll probably be partnering with different organizations of the Metropolitan Golf Association, there's the Connecticut Golf Association, and there's the PGA, which is a national organization, using their services they have, initially on a non-paid basis, and we'll see how we get on working with these organizations. And we will post it as well, locally. Does anybody have any questions on that particular process?
Is there,
Okay.
Alan, is there like a timeline for all of this?
Well, the good news is the timeline is not critical because this is coming now into a slow period of time in that we have no more outings left, and the use of the course will drop quite a lot. There would not, I think the timing is good. Obviously, we'd like to do it sooner rather than later, but there is no deadline to say it has to be done. Obviously, it has to be done by next year, by a certain time. But we do have plenty of time, I think, Denise. Okay. October the 27th is the staff appreciation evening and dinner. We've had this traditionally at I Showed a Yacht Club, but I'm pleased to announce we're having it at O'Dean's, which is where it should be. And thank you to O'Dean's for agreeing to host this for us. All members of the authority are invited, cordially invited. I've been to the last 3 or 4, and I know other authority members have been. And if you would like to come, if you would just let Jim Holliday know, and he will let Tom Sacco know. I unfortunately will not be able to make it because I will not be there, but Rich Dellinger has kindly agreed to fill in for me. It is a nice way of saying thank you to the staff. We are actually closing the course on that day, giving the staff the ability and chance to play some golf. In the past, we haven't done that, but I think it's a good thing to do to give them time to really enjoy themselves, and then come to the evenings in O'Dean's. So October 27th, those of you who could make it. I'm not sure of the time. It's normally about 6 o'clock. And just finally, just a reminder that at the November meeting, we will be having a discussion and probably initially setting the rates, the golf rates for 2026. I know that Jim and Mark have been working on this already, and hopefully before we actually meet, we'll be able to get a rough draft so we can take a look. So we'll have some discussions to work on, but that will be an important meeting for us, because after that meeting, we then what we're looking to recommend then gets posted on our website, put in the pro shop, and then we let people know about the meeting in December. So just to let our authority members know about that. Any questions upon that?
You said, Alan, that's going to be the 20th of November. That's
I believe so. Yeah, the third, whatever the third Thursday is.
right.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. And that's my report. Next, we go to John Lloyd. John is here. So, John, take it away.
Hi, good evening, folks. Hope everyone is well. I'm going to keep this very short and sweet, as there's not been a huge amount to report that hasn't already been mentioned. But as we can all tell as we look outside, it is the beginning of the end of the golf season. And what this signifies for the restaurant is that we will be reducing our hours in the restaurant come November, and sharing the amenity coverage with the halfway house. When the restaurant is closed, the halfway house will remain open. We'll be ceasing the concession cart that has been out every weekend, unless there's exceptional weather. We'll be changing our menus and kind of refocusing and concentrating our attention to things like brunches and the live music programs, evening meals, and private parties. And amongst which we're looking forward to things like a Halloween party and a New Year's Eve all-inclusive party and things like that, which are quite exciting. We're building some fun plans. So more to come, but that is the end of the report.
Thank you, John. John, I think you may have got some business from the political. I see a few political events at O'Dean's, so you should have an election every year, right? No, only kidding. But I do see some business there, which is good. So at some stage, John, when you have determined what your schedule will be during the weekend, be it a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be it or whatever, if or whatever your schedule is, obviously just let us know about it so we can, publish it to everybody.
Absolutely, we will. And yeah, we believe that communication is key to our partnership and to the success of the restaurant, certainly. So we will advertise loud and clear.
Thank you. Any questions for John?
Actually, I do. I have a question. Hi, John. How you doing?
Hi, Denise.
I was just thinking back of your report that you had handed in for last month, and you were talking about the outings and the lack of support that you were getting from the outings. So I was just wondering, when an outing is booked, did any of them come to you and have a conversation about the restaurant, or do they not even get in touch with you? I mean, what's the process, I guess, is what I was asking.
Well, I guess the process is there's an email and we make contact with everyone in January at the beginning of the year when we get the initial list. And then as we get closer, if we haven't heard back from them, we make contact again and kind of try and encourage them to use the restaurant for lunch or dinner. We share our menus and share our policies on donated alcohol and the concessions that we make for alcohol sales on the course. And I don't want to misrepresent the outings. The outings broadly have been positive for the restaurant and for Oak Hills, but there's just I think a weakness in some of the wording of the initial approach has enabled a lot of the outings just not to go through the restaurant at all and to take their business elsewhere. So it's probably I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I imagine 60% of outings have gone through the restaurant in some capacity. But there is a sizable minority that have not really done anything, either through lack of organization on their part or lack of budget is the most common issue. But it just seems like a missed opportunity for them to have a more of a fulsome outing experience, and certainly it's difficult for the restaurant because the golf course is closed that day. We rely on the trade on the golf course to keep the lights on, and when they're not choosing to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or engage with us in any part, it's difficult for us to get through. So we look forward to kind of meaningful discussions with Oak Hills about how we can change the situation for next year. We certainly don't want to chase away the well-established relationships with long-standing outings of the past, but I think we've made our position quite clear now about providing good quality options for outings, and just to maybe graduate from what has been a gentle encouragement to actually it just being a fixed part of the outing package. So when an outing engages with Oak Hills, that will include some in some dimension some form of food and beverage.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for John? John, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Nature Advisory, Mary Verrill. Take it away, Mary.
Okay, very busy time right now. We just had a very successful walk and talk on Wednesday. It was supposed to be Tuesday, and we had to delay it because of the wet, windy conditions. But we had it on Wednesday, and it was excellent. We had 20 people, and Sarah Cruz and her interns instructed. It was very instructional, very, very interesting. In fact, the interns, and they want to work with us. They want to help us put together some sort of publicity. We're going to have our own page, and the kids are going to help us, and so they're hot to try to do that. Also, I think we're going to get them to go in and inventory the woods, the forest, the coastal forest that we have. And that'll be very interesting. We're starting the process for the food forest. We're starting to work on some of the invasives. There's an awful lot to work on. So we're kind of starting that process. I have a fellow landscaper that I use with Norwalk Land Trust who's going to help us smother. He's going to cut them and then we're going to smother a lot of them with leaves and wood chips. And so that process has started. And what else? We're going to redo the alternative lawn. It was beautiful for like 2 or 3 months, and then I think what happened is that we have like a metal um running it's a little metal strip that runs and sort of it's nice because it keeps the weeds out of the path, but it also keeps the water in that area. And so what happened was we had an overabundance of um, um, invasive weeds that popped up because of the water situation. So we're gonna look at that again, and we're gonna address that again and work on that. But other than that, we're doing pretty well, and we're gonna have another meeting where we're gonna discuss, the future plans. I can give you more on that, Gary, on the on when, after we meet, because we're gonna put that together.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else. Lot to do, a lot of work, but we're
Thank you.
we're we're sneaking up on it.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate it. Questions for Mary? There being none, thank you for your report. Item D on the reports is tennis. Denise.
Good evening, everybody. So our courts are still open right now. They're open for the public to use. We'll probably keep them open depending on the weather. If we get a hard frost and the lines get popping up, then we would definitely have to probably shut them down. But, it's all weather permitted right now. So they are in use, mostly on the weekends, but, spotty use during the week, which is fine. So I had normally in the past couple of years, I did a youth program in the fall. I didn't do one this year, but I did have a couple of my other students kind of come back and want to play. So I put together a small group. So we've had a little group going on Wednesdays. So it's just been a nice little fun little thing, and the kids have been great. That'll be over by next week, though. And we've hosted 2 functions this fall. I've spoke about them before. The first one was the Arthur Goldblatt tournament. That was for adults. We had about 45 players. David Kamani, who is the associate director for Grassroots, was our tournament director. It was a 2-day event, and we raised about $5,200 for Grassroots with donations and the player fees. So just a nice little chunk of money for them to have. It is our first Arthur Goldblatt tournament, and we got a lot of positive feedback. So we will definitely be continuing it next year and have, we'll have discussions on how to improve it and make it a little bit better and make it hopefully a bigger program. And then we also hosted the Grassroots Autumn Classic. That's a youth tournament. We hosted 20 of the high school girls. They were 15 to 18 years old. They came out. We were one of 4 facilities that hosted for Grassroots, and they brought in quite a few. They brought in good money. I think they brought in around $50,000. Basically, most of it's based on donations that came directly to Grassroots and their player fees. So that was a fun event. And I forgot to mention that the volunteers from the tennis friends helped out with our Arthur Goldblatt tournament for the 2 days, and they were a big help. So really couldn't done it without all their assistance. So that was a great weekend for everybody. And as Alan mentioned, our RFP, it's in the process. We had 7 applicants, which is really exciting that we had so much interest in Oak Hills for the tennis center. The applications closed on September 30th. And so then we were all able to review all of the applications. we had a meeting last week with the committee. We've kind of narrowed it down to about 4 applicants, which we will then we'll have interviews come the second week of November. And it's, a variety of different applicants. There's corporations, there's LLCs, there's sole proprietors. So it's a wide range of people who took an interest in Oak Hills. And so very happy about the response there. And we will be able to, speak more about it, I guess, in November after we start to have our interviews.
Thank you, Denise. Questions for Denise? I think the whole tennis process is going very well, and I'd like to thank everybody concerned, from the city to the members of the committee. It's going really well. Thank you.
It is.
Okay, next item. I don't believe that Jerry Crowley is here. Supporters of Oak Hills, item number E. Do we have anything at all, Mark, at all, or not?
No, there's no update. I wasn't able to get Jerry a fully up-to-date supporters financial statement, so I told him I'll get it to him for next week, and then he'll have a more detailed report next month. There's been a couple of donations, but I don't know. Denise, have you checked the PayPal recently?
Not since like maybe 2 weeks ago. I think
Okay.
when we last spoke, I haven't checked it recently, but
Okay.
I think we had around almost 25,000 in there but it's mostly all tennis.
For sure.
Thank you. Okay, item number F, long-term planning. Gary Lees. I'm pleased to say Gary's back from his wanders across the globe. So Gary, take it away.
Right. So this week I did tour the course with Jim Shell, Mary, Allen, and at least see what you talked about last month as the potential sites for a driving range and other things that the first tee was looking at. It's very interesting. I think we will begin to meet with the city and start talking about what our possibilities are and see what our next steps are. But when Alan gets back from his trip, I think that'll start to get in full gear. I have asked Jim Shell for a 5, 10, and 20-year long-range plan, and Jim Holiday is working on an assessment of infrastructure assessment of our 11 buildings, which I didn't realize we had that many, but here at Oak Hills, so we know what the long-range plan needs to be on that. And then, of course, I'll be getting to Denise and Mary now that a few things have moved along, and start to put together some thoughts to expose to the group, hopefully in the next month or two.
Thank you, Gary. Any questions for Gary on long-range planning? Thank you. Next item, we have our reports from our professionals. The golf professional, I believe that Paul is in away at this moment in time, so will not be joining us. But we do have his written report, so I encourage you all to read the written report, and if you have any questions, to email him. Next is under H is our superintendent, Jim Shell. Jim, take it away.
All right. Good evening, everybody. The course is doing pretty well, considering that the summer we have a lot of good recovery from that super fast, hot, dry summer that we had. Our bunker contractor I met with yesterday, and we were just discussing a plan of action, and where he starts depends on how wet the course is, so that we don't do too much damage transporting equipment around the course. He will be here next week to actually start. He's dropped off some equipment already, and the bunker sand testing is done, and we're good to go on this year's version of that sand. It's almost the same. If anything, there's there might be a tiny bit more susceptibility to a fried egg lye. I don't know if you all know what that is, but uh, it's inconsequential a difference. So unfortunately, we had to postpone our aeration of greens based on the weather. You know, I try to make my decision a few days, 5 days in advance about if there's weather coming. And the forecast that I was looking at, all the information I had, told me to postpone it to this coming week. Now, this coming week looks like it might be a little bit of a bear to get done. Monday, we're definitely not going to be able to do it as the forecast stands now. So that means Tuesday looks clear. Wednesday actually is starting to look clear, which is great news. So we can do it Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll be good to go. And we haven't really had much of a frost yet, which will really slow the grass down. So we should get decent recovery within a couple weeks. The staff is doing a great job so far. Leaf season is coming. My least favorite chore on the golf course because grass is slowing down and we're moving around a lot on the course in specific areas. And it kind of creates a beatdown, but we have to do it, you know. The course takes a little bit of a beating, but we'll do our best. And, you know, all is status quo on the golf course. Any questions?
Nice to hear. Any questions for Jim? And Jim, may I say, I kind of like your picture that you have posted at the moment of yourself. It looks very nice, may I say.
I am having a problem with my computer here. I can't figure out what's going on with Zoom. I was kicked out for a little bit and then I got back in and I don't know what's going on.
Well, we can hear you. That's the main thing. Thank you.
Good.
Jim, I have just have one question. I know you said the bunker is going to be the replacement starts next week.
Yes.
How long would it take? When would you think it'll be finished?
I'm gonna, you know, with this guy, I think that it's gonna be maybe 6 weeks. That's my best estimate of how long. We are replacing the T on 11. I do need to get in touch with Sarah Cruz about a specific tree that does need to come out, but I've planted enough that I think I have a credit to take another tree down. And this specific tree is definitely going to be in the way.
And that's on 11? Is that part of the 11?
Yes, there's a maple on the left side of the cart path that, and it's not going to affect whether or not tennis, you know, it's going to have no effect on an ability of a struck golf ball to hit the tennis courts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
Any further questions for Jim? There being none, thank you, Jim. Next item under I reports is Controller Mark.
Hello, everyone. As you can see, September was not as great as the previous 2 months. But to give you some more details behind that, you know, we have a net operating income of $6,000 below budget. And what makes that up is we were $35,000 over in our revenue. All right, so that's a good thing. But expenses were $41,000 over budget. Now, two things about that. Number one, the expenses were pretty low compared to the high revenues for the first 2 months of the year. So, you know, when you look at it month by month, you know, as Gary could tell you too, and Denise, you can't always do that. Some things just hit in a different month and so forth. So if you look at it a year-to-date basis, we're doing just fine, just fine. It was just a little bit of timing there. Second thing is, I have not booked yet the quarterly restaurant rent and the quarterly utilities expense allocation. So what's going to happen is our revenue is going to go up 5,000 to 10,000, and our expenses are going to go down about 10, maybe even $12,000. I don't know yet. So we're looking at another, you know, potentially $20,000 increase in our net operating income. And if you look at our year to date for the 3 months, we're already at 110,000 higher than budget in just 3 months, and it's going to go up another 20 grand. So we are doing just fine financially. And, you know, as you just talked about, you know, aeration and bunkers are coming up. So the revenue is going to really start sliding. So, but that happens every year, especially by November. It's standard for the industry.
Thank you, Mark. Questions
Yep.
for Mark? So probably one reason for the higher expense as well, I think, is water expense is a little higher this year compared to last year as well.
Yeah, the last 2 months, water was exceptionally high.
Right.
You
Even with
just-
our, even with pumping some
That-
water, it's still
But,
okay.
and yes, yeah, but that's the price you pay for I mean, when you have more than 6 weeks, however long we had of basically 78 degrees and sunshine,
Oh yeah.
it was beautiful. And so it really raises those revenue, but you got to pay for it with the water. So it's
Yep.
happened before. Yep.
Any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark. The last item on the reports is our General Manager, Jim Holiday, item J. Take it away, Jim.
Thank you, Alan. Let's see. Well, first of all, I just would like to note that with the RFP for the tennis center and the great interest that we have generated and the search for a new head of golf, there's a real positive vibe at Oak Hills. It's really exciting. Change is always anxiety or angst creating, but overall, the feelings of optimism at Oak Hills are really tremendous. So, my report is in the package. It's all the same types of things. It's maintenance and meetings, and there has been a lot going on in September, and it's the 2 different tennis tournaments, and we had several outings to close out the season. One of the things that we recently did that's not in my report, which is really pretty cool in all of our opinion, starting on Monday, October 20th, we are offering our customers the 9-hole rate Monday through Friday. This is a combination of a reaction or response to the changing weather and the shortening of the days, and also sort of a thank you to all of our customers. So it might give us a shot in the arm as far as more greens fees, but it will also, it's a thank you. It's a thank you to all the golfers who have been paying to play golf all season. So we begin that on Monday, which is Monday the 20th. It'll go through the end of the season. The other thing that is not in my report, you may recall that we have embarked on an effort to increase our social media presence. And I have a report from the first few months. And just to briefly go through a few things, the Facebook views, 18,800 views, up 146% from the similar period last year. Interactions, likes, saves, comments, shares, and replies, 411, up 291%. And just Facebook visits, 2,500, up 56%. And Instagram, we're newer on Instagram, but we did have 18,200 views, up 2,700%. A little misleading because we didn't have an active Instagram, but we do, and it's important. And the likes, saves, comments, shares, and replies, 243, up 100%. And the visits to Instagram, 550. Up 111%. So, that is a direction that we hope to continue to go. We set aside a small amount of money for our initial foray for 4 months, and the social media consultant actually got started before that, optimistic that the contract would be approved. So I'm very excited about that. I'm unfortunately going to have to increase some of our expenses. When I came aboard in 2023, we understood that we had refrigerant leaks. We have 4 air conditioning and heating systems in the clubhouse, 1 for the pro shop, 2 for the dining room, and one to keep Mark warm and cool. And we have already approved replacement of the system for the pro shop. And if you look at my notes over the past few months, you will see many allusions to Innovative is back, or other vendors are back looking at our HVAC system. And unfortunately, the two air handlers and condensers, which provide heating and cooling to the dining room, also need to be replaced. You know, there has been deferred maintenance. We are reducing that. We are making improvements. So it's going to be a hit, unfortunately, in the season where we're not generating income, but it's just necessary. We have to do it. So I don't have numbers yet, but I will be you know, talking with Mark and the finance committee, and we'll have more concrete information for you in November. So that's my report for October 16.
Thank you, Jim. Questions for Jim?
Yes, Jim, regarding the social media, that was great. I did not know those numbers were so good. So my recommendation is I think you should do some TikTok videos of yourself dancing at each of the 18 holes and put it out there.
Yeah.
It'll drive in some more some more customers.
Mark, I'll get right on that, and you'll be joining me, of course, won't you?
Well, of course. I'll be taking the video.
I'm not sure if we're quite that hard of at this moment in time, but that's okay.
When,
You know,
Jim?
Gary,
yeah, I didn't see it in the minutes from last month, but I see you said you signed a contract on the new carts. Was that significantly higher than the current contract?
Well, that's subjective, but I believe Mark was in at 13% in that range.
I thought it was higher than 13%, but it was considering the fact that 5 years ago, the interest rates were really low. And that it basically offset any rise in the cost at that time. We basically were flat in our new cart contract 5 years ago. Now the rates went up, so now we have both the increase for the cart expense and the increase for financing. I don't remember that. It's been a while since we reviewed the numbers, but if you recall back when we were doing budget, I think we had expected a 50% increase. And it is not that high. So it is, we're going to do well according to budget, but you know, it is certainly higher than it was the last 5 years.
Yeah, the interest rates are approximately double what they were, Gary, when the last contract was signed. So there's you know, residual impact from that. But again, when Mark and I present to you the rates proposed for 2026, we will be reflecting the change in what we are paying to help offset some of those costs.
Okay, and the GPS system, the same thing. You'll present that and then come up with a new cart fee rental fee for the cart.
The GPS is almost it's like a couple of dollars off. It hasn't increased at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that going to be terminated at the same time as the cart rentals this
Yes.
time?
They're both 5 years this time. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good if we had a good analysis of cart costs and what we're charging for fees. So, okay.
Certainly.
any
Denise,
further
you have a
questions
question?
for Mark?
For Jim, I have a question.
Jim, sorry, my apologies.
Jim, the social media, is that Catherine?
It is.
It is. Just so I'd just like to mention that she, when I was trying to put together the banner for the Arthur Goldblatt tournament, the printer I was using was not very creative. And so I went to Kathleen on a last minute, thanks to Jim, put me in touch with her, and she did a wonderful job, and she did it within like 48 hours. And I just thought she was great to work with. So it was really a great experience working with her. So
You're nice to point that out. Thank you.
And
Thank you,
one
Denise.
more question for Jim.
Sure.
You got public information meeting roundtable with Richards Avenue and West Cedar. Was there anything interesting that came out of that meeting?
Well, just the idea of a roundabout is an interesting idea. They are very common where Alan is going tomorrow. We do not use that many roundabouts, but it is a way to slow traffic. As far as the meeting is concerned, it was well presented, in my opinion. There's the normal hecklers when you have a public information session, but the intersection is large enough and with enough traffic that I forget the name of the department within the city government that is responsible for transportation and mobility, I think it is, believes that it's an ideal site. And particularly with all the traffic generated by the college. So I hope it goes through, and time will tell.
I should have gone to that meeting, because I would have convinced everybody, because I will tell you, after having about 45 years of experience with roundabouts, they are the best thing since sliced bread, because there's no traffic lights. You keep moving. Once you get used to it, it's going to be really good. The one downside to it that I saw is people that need to cross the road. People that, students that need to cross the road coming down Richards Avenue. With a roundabout, there's no traffic lights, so they don't stop. So they've got to solve that problem. If they can solve that problem, traffic will move really well, Gary.
And do we know when the West Cedar Street Bridge is going to be done?
I do not.
They said 7 months from
end of November is what the projection is. I just don't know if they're on target.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Any further questions for Jim? Thank you, James. That ends the reports. Item number 6 on the agenda is, does any authority member have any old business they would like to bring before the authority tonight? Okay. Agenda item number 7, new business. Does any authority member have any new business they would like to bring before the authority tonight? Anybody like to say anything? Any statements, any comments at this time? I think this is the first time we haven't had executive session or any items in this. So anyway, I will leave it open. Anybody wish to say anything?
I have an idea. I had talked with Jim Holiday a little bit about this. I think we should have, it's not a bumper sticker, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think we should have our Oak Hills logo as, I have it on the back of my car for my soccer, and it is just, it's magnetic. You put it on the back of your car, and I think it's something that would be great for our golfers to have and our staff to have and put it on their car. It's just like free advertising, and it just says Oak Hills Park on it. It's very simple, and we just have our oak leaf and everything. And we were sort of thinking and talking and looking at the logo and maybe thinking about sprucing it up a little bit or giving a little bit of a update. But I don't know, it's not a very expensive item to order, like, a couple of thousand of these things, and to have them given out to the golfers and stuff like that. So, and have them on our staff cars, on our board member cars and things like that.
I think that's a very interesting point, Denise. I think some form of competition to have some people design a new logo for Oak Hills may be fun as well. Just an option that sometimes people do. But I think 2 things. I think it may be time to revisit what our logo looks like, and if you get a good one, stick it on your car. I think that's a great idea. So maybe at our next meeting we should put together some form of ad hoc committee to see how we can move this along, perhaps.
Yeah, just remember, cars are made out of a lot of plastic, and I don't know how many bumpers have any metal.
Yeah, that's
Mine stays on the back of my car. My car's plastic too. It's just, something is magnetic enough that it stays on the car through bad weather and everything. So it's, it stays on.
As the father of a lot of college-age daughters in high school, we've got those stickers all over the back of our car. There's places to put them for sure.
But it's not a sticker. It just,
No, yeah, we know, we have the
Yeah, yeah.
magnet too, because
Oh,
they're
okay.
kind of coming in. Yeah, no, my wife's got,
they're
when
everywhere.
they leave one school and go to another, you gotta be able to take it off easy, put the new one on.
That transfer student, right?
Mhm.
So, but, okay.
Thank you, Denise. Does any other member have anything to bring before us before we go to item 8 on our agenda, which is adjournment? Well, item number 8, adjournment. And I think I claim the record. We are at about 45 minutes, which is very good.
38 minutes. Believe 38 minutes was a record. I could be wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Controller. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a proposal for that?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, yeah.
Do we have someone to second the motion, please?
Second.
Second, third.
Gary leads, second the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Thank you all very much for attending, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Have a good trip.
Great
Have a good
night.
trip, Alan.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.